Well, it's a cold, blustery, windy day here in New Mexico to be doing this test drive on the 2013 Ford Fusion. So let's jump inside the car where it's nice and warm and we'll do the rest from in there. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's get started. I'm bringing sexy back, ba-do-do-do-do-do. You know the song, right? Well, sex sells. And frankly, with this 2013 Ford Fusion, if this thing drove like garbage, it'd still be selling off the lot like hotcakes because, yes, it is pretty sexy. Well, I know a lot of you've seen this car out in the old interwebs and you know what it looks like, but seeing it in person just helps out a lot as well. You know, frankly, when this car debuted at, I think it was the North American International Auto Show, I thought to myself, where did Ford come up with this, man? It was like, it was so out there. I loved it. And of course, I think they really knocked it out of the park. This thing looks sweet. You know, it gets... Often people say it looks like Aston Martin in the front, but I'm not sure how that's actually a dig. I love the fastback roofline it has. Even though it's not a hatchback, it kind of has that look to it. It's got some nice creasing and detail work on the sides, you know, and it's got little details all around from the headlights all the way back to the tail lights. Just little things that set it off that create a nice, cohesive, good-looking family sedan. The interior here of the Fusion is also a nice place and nicely complements the exterior of the car. I mean, the materials are great. Dash is a nice soft touch material. I love how fine the mesh is here over the speakers on the top of the doors. You know, the trim around the power window buttons, locks, mirrors, all those things is a very nice trim. The center stack is nice and close, which is great. It's great for the infotainment. It's great for adjusting your temperature, fan speed, all those kinds of things. It does create kind of this flying buttress thing, just like the Prius has. That this is almost buttress 2.0, I guess, from the Prius. It's smaller. It's not quite as egregious as the Prius, but it's, you know, it's still there. It creates this kind of no man's land underneath. You can put your cell phone and stuff down there. It's just not easily accessible, and it's just kind of an odd setup altogether. Center armrest is real nice, nicely padded. Good space in there, a couple cup holders right here, and I really love the gauge complement on this car. You've got your information screen set nicely in between your two gauges. Your gauges have these nice blue hued needles, and the lettering and numbers are all very detailed and fine. It just looks tight, polished, and well put together, and as a whole, I think this interior goes just as nicely with the car as the exterior, and the two combined really set this thing apart in the marketplace. I'm not a huge fan of the way they set up the heating and cooling and fan speed controls here in the center stack. There's nothing inherently wrong with this setup. It takes a little getting used to figure out which buttons you're supposed to be pushing to get the airflow where you want it, and can you push two at once, or if you push one, does it turn the other one off? So again, it's not a real problem, and I'm sure after, you know, just a couple weeks of driving, it'd be really natural. But I mean, if I have to give a gripe about something, I think that could use a little bit of improvement. Thought I'd take a second to show you the shot with my kids' car seats in the back. Because of this sexy sloping roof line, you are somewhat affected by entry, not so much headspace, but entry into the rear. And it's very obvious when I was working with my kids' car seats. Because of this space here, literally, especially with my daughter's car seat on the other side, I could not put it in straight. I had to put it on its end, put it into the back seat, then put it upright and put it onto the seat. Now, once you're in there, it's fine, but that does somewhat impede access for adults or car seats alike. While the styling of this car does set it apart from its counterparts in the mid-size family sedan segment, the powertrains are nothing to miss either. There's 4 different powertrains you can get in this, from the base 2.5 liter up to the 2 liter EcoBoost, and of course the hybrid as well. Now that hybrid has the same powertrain as the C-Max I drove. It's a 2 liter on the Atkinson cycle, 47, 47, 47 across the board for your fuel economy. Now the 2.5 liter base makes 175 horsepower, 175 pound-feet of torque, and is probably a decent engine. In fact, that car gets pretty good fuel fuel economy at 22, 34, 26 combined for the automatic. Now what I'm driving here is the smaller of the two EcoBoost engines. There's a 1.6 liter turbocharged and a 2 liter turbocharged. And frankly, I think this is the right powertrain. Now, I don't think you can really go wrong with any of them, and you're going to have to choose what's right for your needs, but I really like this 1.6. Now, in terms of all-out numbers, it's not that distinctly different than the 2.5 liter. It makes a little more torque, 184 pound-feet of torque, but the difference is that torque comes 2,000 RPM lower in the rev range, and I think that makes the difference. And also being a turbo, it's got some real punch. I noticed yesterday when I was getting on the highway, when you downshift the 6-speed, as soon as you hit about that power band range, somewhere around 3,000 RPM, it's got some real punch. And I think the 1.6 liter with the fuel economy benefits you gain from that EcoBoost is really the way to go. It's rated at 23, 36, 28 combined. Of course, I've got different fuel economy while I'm driving it. Everybody's always asking me to say, well, what's your fuel economy you get? Well, considering I kind of flog the cars as well as idle them like crazy, I really don't think my fuel economy is very accurate, but I'm showing about 24 miles the gallon as we speak. So anyhow, that 2 liter, 240 horsepower, 270 pound-feet of torque is probably, that thing's probably got some real scoot for those of you in the big city that need something that's gonna, allow you to make your way through traffic really quickly and comfortably without having to worry about it too much. Or if you spend a lot of time on the open road and you have to pass on 2 lanes. But other than that, I'm a strong proponent of this 1.6 liter. One thing I don't like about these EcoBoost engines is the sound. At idle, they have almost like a diesel-like clatter to them, I would guess from the direct injection. And then when you kind of get on it, they don't sound that thrilling. They're a little bit coarse, even when you're not really getting your foot into the throttle, a little bit harsh. But other than that, I'm a big proponent of the EcoBoost engines. The Ford Fusion S, which is the base model, comes in about $22,000. My buddy at the dealership says that thing flies off the shelves. And if you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, you're still getting good fuel economy, decent power with the 2.5 liter, and of course you get all the styling interior and exterior that you get with any price Fusion. So that's really hard to beat. Now, I'm driving an SE. An SE starts $23,700, so just under $24,000. And this one has a luxury group, which gets you leather, 10-way power seats, heated seats, which are great right now because it's so cold out. Really, it gets you a lot of good stuff for about $2,400. So the as tested price, once you include everything on this, tax, title, license, all that, all the stuff that they add, destination, whatever those things are, $27,540. Frankly, although that's pushing $30,000, I feel like I'm driving a $30,000+ car between the interior and exterior styling, the modern turbocharged engine with some punch and some good fuel economy, leather, heated seats, power seats. This is a sweet car for well under $30,000. As always, I want to give a shout out to the dealership I was working with this month. That's Gurley Motor Company, oldest Ford dealership in New Mexico. It was awesome to drive the EcoBoost Fusion. I appreciate their cooperation in working with me, and I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, leave your comments below, like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching this week.